What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. In this one, we go over what Sherrone Moore had to say about the Michigan turnovers, what the coaches could have done better to help them prevent some of those turnovers, plus also inside what some of the players were saying to each other during the Northwestern game to try and stay positive and go and win the game. And then also, Sherrone Moore goes inside the 3rd and 10 play between Bryce Underwood and Andrew Marsh. We also go over Andrew Marsh being Freshman of the Week. Defensive coordinator Wink Martindale speaks on the outlier performance against USC and their no flinch mentality. This defense playing their best football right now, plus a Michigan commit moving up in the rivals rankings, could be the 3rd 5-star in Michigan's 2026 recruiting class. And then we also go over Michigan's depth at running back. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so to start this video, first I want to go over a couple things of what Sherrone Moore said on Inside Michigan Football radio show with host John Jansen. He spoke on the Michigan turnovers, as obviously Michigan had 5 total turnovers in the game against Northwestern. Just so many self-inflicted wounds that the Wolverines had against Northwestern, but Sherrone Moore does know the coaches could have helped on those turnovers. As he said, obviously Bryce would like to have those decisions back on the interceptions and the fumble. I feel like we could help him on some of those things, but you've got 2 new guys on the 4th and 1 going together, which is a play people will say, why didn't you go under center? But he said, you get the sneak defense, you get all this, and it's just a play we've been successful with throughout the year. Just having a new guy in there with Bryce, the ball handling wasn't as clean as it should have been, so those were the negative things. And then obviously there were a couple plays, including the Andrew Marsh end around, where Chip Lindsey, Michigan probably shouldn't have called that play right there, although had the play worked out would have been, a great play, but Michigan was moving the ball effectively already. But Sherrone Moore said the positive, you had 496 yards of offense, you were balanced, 200-something yards passing, 200-something yards rushing. You moved the ball extremely well with another young team, and I felt like from an offensive standpoint, it's not about the plays, it's about finishing and execution. And this Michigan team, they dealt with adversity in that Northwestern game. This team has showed a lot with what they went through and what they were able to overcome in that game against Northwestern. And Sherrone Moore even spoke about, the players, especially the defensive players, keeping a positive attitude, given that fact that the Michigan offense was not helping them at all. But Sherrone Moore said it spoke volumes because, we're at the last drive. Senior linebacker Deshaun Barham, edge Cameron Brandt, and Rod Moore we're all talking to the offense saying, we got you. You're going to go score. You guys are going to go end this game. Go do it. So he said just staying so positive. I think we just got a great nucleus of leaders and team guys. And then he said Coach Lindsey was talking to Jay Sean, and he said, man, great job. You guys had our back. And Deshaun Barham said, well, of course, we're a team. So those things are huge for the team morale. And it's no doubt this team certainly overcame a lot. This team, these players showed a lot of fight and resiliency in that game. So we found out a lot about this team in that game against Northwestern. It was also pretty funny on that clutch 3rd and 10 play from Bryce Underwood to Andrew Marsh and the toe drag on the sideline. Underwood had Marlon Klein underneath, and Sherrone Moore said, we watched it again with Bryce this morning, and I asked him, why'd you throw it to him when you had Marlon wide open? And he was like, well, I saw this guy. And then Sherrone Moore said, let's be real, you wanted to throw it to number 4, and he said that he winked at him, as that was obviously the connection all game long between Bryce Underwood and Andrew Marsh. And Sherrone Moore said that throw and catch was elite. It wasn't good, it wasn't great, it was an elite throw to stand in the pocket, move to the left, stay square, and put it to only where he can get it. And then obviously the catch to drag the toe was incredible. And that play right there boosted Michigan's chances to win that game tremendously. It was a huge play and a huge turning point in the game for the Wolverines. Alright, so the football season is in full action here. There is tons of great games, especially in college football in November. Tons of teams making a playoff push, including Michigan. You can pick on some of your favorite players, including Bryce, Underwood, and other Michigan players right now. It's a great time to get started with Sleeper because they're offering a free $20 entry, no deposit required, plus first-time users still also receive a 100% deposit match up to $100 using promo code MST. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. So if you haven't checked out the Sleeper app already, now's a great time to do so. Go ahead, check them out. Link down below in the description. And then I also wanted to talk about what wing Martindale said on Inside Michigan Football Radio Show as well, as this defense has been playing phenomenal, starting to play some of their best football at the best time right now. You know, that USC game was clearly an outlier. Wink Martindale said that, I know we had to slip up against SC. I think our tackling has improved since then, and it's not like we refocused it or anything. It just became a lot more important to everyone. And we started to see Michigan's defense start to play at their best last season towards the end against Ohio State. In the bowl game against Alabama, it's looking like they're starting to play their best football right now as well. You know, these past two games against their last two opponents, Purdue had 276 yards, Northwestern had 245 yards. It was a season low for Purdue and the second worst number for Northwestern, and obviously both Michigan State and Washington couldn't really get anything going either against Michigan's defense. So this Michigan defense is locking in right now, and the fact that they did what they did against Northwestern was incredible, because Northwestern averaged starting on Michigan's 43-yard line on its 5 scoring drives. 3 of them were field goals. So that's how bad they were put in a position, but they stepped up huge. And Martindale said, we take pride in that. We don't flinch no matter what the situation is, and there's nothing you can do except go play the next down. So I was proud. I thought throughout the entire game we never flinched. We just went out and met the challenges head on. And he said they know the mission. You know, they know that you're basically in playoff football right now, and they know the importance of this Maryland game to get off to a fast start, and it's going to be a tough opponent because of the style of offense they run, but they're not thinking about that last one, and they're not viewing Maryland as a trap game. They got to go in there, take care of business, and set up that huge matchup with Ohio State at the end of the year, which less than 2 weeks away. Absolutely cannot wait. And a couple of things here. How about Andrew Marsh? He earned Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors with his huge performance. 12 receptions, 189 yards, and was the most by a Michigan freshman in program history since at least 1979. And then also Wolverines continue to keep adding on to their 2026 recruiting class, have picked up a couple intriguing prospects. Obviously, you know, they already got a lot of the big targets in the class already. They're continuing to try to flip some others as well here towards the end of this cycle and towards signing day. But on the Rivals rankings, Michigan has 2 5-stars out of Savion Hyder and Carter Meadows, 2 of the best recruits in the 2026 class. And the Michigan 4-star edge commit Julian Walker actually moved up in the rankings to number 26 in the country, and if that holds, he will finish as the Wolverines' 3rd 5-star commit in the 2026 class on Rivals rankings. So I just wanted to mention that the Wolverines are putting together a great 2026 class. And then I know some of you guys have been wondering about Michigan's depth at running back, with obviously Jordan Marshall going down in that Northwestern game. You know, we'll see where his health is at ahead of the Maryland game, but even if, you know, he is healthy enough to play, I don't know how much carries he will get, because Michigan's going to want to keep him healthy for that Ohio State game. But we saw Bryce go in there. He was tremendous against Northwestern. So that is obviously, you know, if Jordan Marshall can't go, he will be the guy. And then behind him is Jasper Parker, the true freshman running back, 6 foot, 205-pound running back. We've seen him in there a few times already this season. He has 17 carries for 70 yards and 1 touchdown on the season. And Sherrone Moore in the past has compared his running style to kind of Hassan Haskins. As for a true freshman, he does have pretty good vision. And then behind Bryce and Jasper Parker, though, the Wolverines would have Micah Kapana, a sophomore running back. However, he has been banged up. He was out against Northwestern. So most likely it would be John Volker, the graduate transfer from Princeton, a 6 foot, 214-pound running back. Does have a lot of experience, albeit, you know, he was at Princeton, but still in the 2023 season, he had 92 carries, 438 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And then last season, 2024, he had 89 carries for 514 yards and 6 touchdowns. So Michigan has him, and then also Tomas O'Mara, walk-on running back, sophomore. He's actually seen 3 carries this season for 12 yards. So those are the 2 running backs behind Jordan Marshall and Bryson Cusdale. They got Jasper Parker, John Volker, and Tomas O'Mara, because right now Micah Kapana banged up. Donovan Johnson is out for the season. He's a true freshman running back. So that's what things look like as far as the running back depth chart right now. But obviously behind Jordan Marshall, the 2 guys who will most likely be getting the most of the carries is Bryson Cusdale and Jasper Parker, which we have seen both of them run the ball pretty dang good this season, especially Cusdale in that Northwestern game, which seems like Sherrone Moore and this whole team has a lot of confidence in him. So Sherrone Moore did do a good job this offseason. You know, he went out there and got some transfers out of John Volker and also CJ Hester. However, he transferred, decided to enter the portal, but he might have been a guy who right now could have been getting a lot of carries. And we obviously saw Benjamin Hall also transfer away from Michigan as well. So those things happen though. You know, both those guys, if Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall were both healthy, obviously weren't going to see too many carries. But now Justice Haynes, it seems like he's done for the regular season. Jordan Marshall banged up a little bit right now. But nonetheless, next man up mentality here for the Wolverines. That's how it's always been. And with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.